Hello, everyone. I was hoping to chat with some of you guys tonight, so if you are available, hop right in, ask your questions. I let you know this morning that I would be on today, and here I am. I did have a couple of questions from my question earlier asking what you want to ask me about while I go live. So I did have a few questions that I'm going to address for you there as soon as I see them. But as you are hopping on live, if you have any questions for me, I am a certified clinical aromatherapist. My name is Leah Jacobson, and I have been a CCA for 7-8 years now. And I love creating resources and helping answer the question for you, how do I use my essential oils safely? So that's what we are all about in this group. And real quick, just so you know, Facebook is cracking down on a lot of medical terms. So I've had to put a lot of the information that I was previously able to share freely in this group behind a membership area that's free. So if you want access to all of my information, recipes, all of that stuff, you can find that in the library over at leahjacobson.com/library. So I'm going to get to the questions. And again, if you have questions for me, jump right in. I will answer your questions first since you are here live with me. The first question, I haven't actually seen these yet. I just knew there were a few. Beverly says, I diffuse every day at least 3 hours intermittently. My mother, who is on oxygen 24/7 and lives with us, and looking for safe oils to diffuse that won't affect her breathing. So it's important to understand that when there is somebody with a medical history, especially when it comes to breathing, that you are careful. So I really applaud you for having that concern and trying to make sure that the essential oils you are using are going to be safe. Even someone on oxygen can still be exposed to certain essential oils. I would suggest that you log into our learning center and click the tab that talks about asthma. I'm actually going to go there myself really quickly just to make sure that I am telling you exactly where to go, because I just want to make sure that it's there. So it's under interactions, I believe. No, it is. It's right under asthma. So if you go to leahjacobson.com/library, if you click on not a member of the Learning Center, you can access it that way, and then you can read the information. Basically, it's if anyone has COPD or breathing disorders, that they may be extra sensitive to the stimulating essential oils that typically would help those of us with respiratory issues breathe. It can actually make the situation worse. So that information would be under our asthma tab over in the Learning Center. And some of those essential oils would be eucalyptus and peppermint, wintergreen, and oregano. So those would be the ones that I would suggest using with caution. And intermittent use of a diffuser is great if it is a concern for you. If she does notice a difference in a negative way when you diffuse, then I would just suggest that you diffuse in a different room, or that you use a personal inhaler that you can use for yourself that she won't be exposed to. The flip side of that is like a 50-50 chance that it can actually help her. So I would just take note of the essential oils you've already used and go from there. We have a second question. Thank you, Leah, for doing these sessions. I would like to know how to use Copaiba for anxiety and irritability. Initially, I used to put a drop in my water or under my tongue, but after watching your videos, I learned that ingesting oils is a no-no. I find the Copaiba to be so calming, and I've ordered personal inhalers, which I get today. Is there another essential oil that I can use for the same calmness? I might miss your live, but I would love to hear your answer in the replay. Thank you. So yes, you can use essential oils to help with anxiety and irritability. Copaiba is a great one for pain. So I typically reserve that one for topical use of pain issues. But if you have found that it works well for you when you do need it for anxiety, then I would continue to use that by inhaling. Now, in our recipes club, Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and share my screen with you because I want you to be able to see this. It's free, so you don't have to pay to be a VIP or a member if you don't want to, but there is a free area in our recipes club. So let me flip this around so that you can see. Again, our library has all of our resources, and there are free levels for pretty much everything here. Once you are enrolled, even at the free level, actually, I'm going to go ahead and show you the enrollment page. So you just go to leahjacobson.com/recipes, and then you can scroll past all of this into here and put in your information, and then you will get an email that will let you into the free level of the EO Recipes Club. Now, you won't see all this if you are on the free level. This will be hidden from you. However, we do have several things at the free level, and that is here. So we actually have a diffuser recipe for anxiety, and that's what I'm going to show you now. That is one of the recipes available at the free level. So diffuser for anxiety and stress #1. This is the one that you can have free access to. This is the one that you can use in your new personal inhalers that you're getting. So I would recommend, you can use these same essential oils in your inhaler, yes. So for a diffuser, however, you would use 2 drops each of bergamot, sweet orange, and clary sage. Now, if you're using these in a personal inhaler, then let me just click on the personal inhaler recipe for you, even though this is not part of the free level, but you can have a peek in right here since we are live. And you can add 7 drops of bergamot, 5 drops of sweet orange, and 3 drops of clary sage. That's what I would recommend. Now, if you are telling me that copaiba helps you a lot, you can add a few more drops of copaiba to this mixture. I honestly hesitate to suggest that you replace one of these because these, although copaiba is working for you, these also are therapeutically sound, and the scientific research backing up these 3 essential oils, and yes, there's another version of the recipe with 3 other essential oils that are also useful, but it makes me uneasy to tell you to take one of these out. So I highly recommend, if you have any of these other essential oils, to use some of these as well. So if you want to do, if you have bergamot and sweet orange, but you don't have clary sage, then maybe substitute the clary sage with the copaiba that you have. There's several different ways that we can go about this. So if you happen to see this video and you can reply to me and let me know what you have, I can help you with that. Typically, I do create custom recipes for VIP level EO Recipes Club members only, but I do want to help you out by answering your question. So if you can let me know what other essential oils that you have, then I can be more helpful in that regard. But yes, to get back to your question, let me go ahead and find that again. I am glad that you are not going to be ingesting or putting this under your tongue. That is definitely long-term not going to be the best for you. So that's my suggestion. I hope that helps. And then we have a third question. And again, those of you who are watching live, if you have any questions for me, jump right in. Now is your chance to get those questions to me while I am here. Another question, my teen just moved in with me and she has horrible period stomach cramps. I think it's a diet of junk and sugar that contributed. I'm starting her on vitamin D and making sure she's hydrated and has magnesium. What essential oils can ease symptoms or help fix this imbalance in her body? So I do have a couple of recipes in the EO Recipe Club as well for PMS. So I'm just going to click on over there. We have a personal inhaler, we have diffusing, and yes, even inhalation can help with cramps. We also have a massage blend that is a combination of clary sage, bergamot, and cedarwood atlas that can be useful when applied topically at a 3% dilution for stomach cramps or period cramps. So that's what I would recommend. And if you have any of those essential oils that she can inhale, that could be helpful as well. But yes, you are smart to look at the diet. You are smart to make sure she's consuming magnesium. And my recommendation, if you haven't already heard, is the magnesium powder by Calm Mag. It's a great supplement. It dissolves into water easily. It's easily digestible in the body. It's really super effective than taking capsules or tablets. Leg cramps, on the other hand, I suppose it could work on your abdomen too, actually. Magnesium oil can be helpful, but some people, at first, when they're not used to it, they find that it kind of makes the skin a little itchy because it's a little bit drying. But the drink, the powder that you can add to water, is amazing. So that's what I would recommend for you for that. So hopefully that helps. Now, if anyone is here with me live and has any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I am going to hop on over to our learning center and I am going to talk about a topic and hope that it helps some of you with understanding a little bit more about essential oils. And this is something that I'm going to try to do every Thursday, but we'll see what happens. So in our learning center, I'm just going to go ahead and flip this around so that you can follow along with me. Again, if you go to leahjacobson.com, you scroll down till you find the yellow box or click Learning Center, you can enroll for free. All of this is free. This is basically information that I had on my website publicly that Facebook flagged and said that I couldn't share because of medical terms or therapeutic properties, even saying antiviral. They didn't like that. So I've had to put this information behind a membership so their bots couldn't follow me and shut down my page and flag my posts because it got pretty messy there for a while. But ever since I put stuff behind this membership, their bots are out, but you guys can get in. So I've been very happy with that. But before I get to one of those topics, let me answer this question from Anissa or Anissa. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. What would you suggest doing for a baby under 4 months that is congested? Also, what do you do about teething infants? Well, you are in luck because I'm going to go ahead and click on a couple of these areas here. Now, for teething, we do have an area in the Learning Center on children, and a lot of the information on children specifically is under the Children's tab, including teething. So there's a bunch of different things you can do, none of which is going to be essential oils, at least not in the mouth, but you can use essential oils along the jaw. So the first thing that you might have already had recommended to you if you asked in other groups is probably going to be clove essential oil. Now, for adults and for older children over the age of 2, this can be useful. Clove essential oil, however, does have several safety issues. So even if you are over the age of 2 and can then use it topically, you have to also consider that this is a skin sensitizer. It is a mucous membrane irritant, that if you are on aspirin or blood thinners, that it is anticoagulant, so it could cause those blood thinning medications to work more effectively. So you do want to be very careful, and if you are pregnant, you also want to be very careful because it's embryotoxic. So be careful of that. But for a 4-month-old, you definitely want to use something to help. Now, my recommendations, and I'm skipping around here, but you can find this again in the Learning Center, is going to be Roman chamomile hydrosol. Now, hydrosols are created during steam distillation. So the same process that's used for most essential oils is steam distillation, and that is also how we get our hydrosols. The hydrosols contain the water-soluble nutrients, the water-soluble constituents, I should say, whereas the essential oils contain the oil-soluble constituents. So the water-soluble constituents are the hydrosols. They're more gentle. You can use them directly on your skin without diluting. You can use them with babies. You can use them with pets. You can use them right on your face. They're amazing, and they still have therapeutic properties that make them useful for issues. So my number one recommendation for teething is going to be Roman chamomile hydrosol. It can be applied directly to the gums and rubbed right on there. That is something that you can use without diluting for your 4-month-old that is teething. You can also use chamomile extract, and I have links in here to the ones that I personally recommend, and you can add a couple of drops on your finger. You can rub on the gums that way. And then there are other things, probably for an over 4-month-old, if they are already eating foods and solids, that you can make chamomile tea, you can turn it into popsicles, you can actually give them chamomile tea to drink if that is something that you are comfortable doing at 4 months. I know a lot of parents prefer to wait till 6 months or older before introducing things other than breast milk. But that could be something to think about. Frozen washcloths, frozen peas, probably again not for a 4-month-old. Frozen banana, if you put them in a mesh feeder, could work. Same with the frozen peas. Frozen breast milk, again, you can put in a silicone feeder or a mesh feeder so they can chew down and bite down on that, and that coldness can really, really help with the teething issue. So topically, however, you can use trauma oil, which is not an essential oil, but it is an herbal oil that is an infusion of herbs in olive oil, and you can apply that on the outside of the jawline. Typically, I don't recommend using essential oils topically on children under the age of 2. If all else fails and nothing else works, you could use a very, very low dilution of, say, lavender essential oil and dilute that on the outside of the jawline if that is something that you feel that you need to do, if nothing else works. And again, generally we recommend not to apply topically for children under the age of 2, but there are certain situations such as teething, which can be painful, bug bites, bee stings, that will, cause this to be appropriate time to use that. So I hope that information helped. Again, this is found in our learning center. You do have to enroll. It's absolutely free, but that protects the information from Facebook flagging it, because we do talk about medical issues, and, keywords that they don't like. So as for congestion, I'm trying to think if I think I have information in here. Yes, I do. So here it's called the Guide to Child Safe Essential Oils for Congestion. And this is something that you can download. I will go ahead and click here so that you can see what it looks like, but you can download and print this off. And this gives you information that you need to know for this topic. Let me go ahead and zoom in just so those of you on your phones can see this a little bit better. This has a lot of information. It explains why eucalyptus, rosemary, peppermint, etc. that are high in 1,8-cineol and or menthol are not recommended for kids under age 10. It can slow respiration, can cause labored breathing, but what you can use instead is fir needle or any firs, pines, spruces, cypress, juniper berry. Fregonia is amazing, by the way, as well. And then you can add sweet orange and lemon to help with the aroma and with the germ killing. Some people don't like the aroma of fir needle or pines or spruces. Another thing you can do is you can add tea tree essential oil as well. So there's a lot of information in here as well as a personal inhaler recipe that you can use. Now, in a 4-month-old, they're not going to understand, how exactly to use an inhaler, and that's okay. So all you do is do up your inhaler and just wave it in front of their nose. Just wave it, and they'll be able to smell it, and that can help a lot. Also, another thing that you can do, here's just safety information for the inhaler and a bunch of different information as well as substitutions. But another thing that you could do is you could take a hot steamy shower and then pull your 4-month-old in with you and just have them inhale the steam. Just have them, that can help open up their lungs and help them to breathe a little bit better too, is being exposed to that steam. So that could be another thing that you can do to help with congestion. So excellent questions, and there's some links for you so that you can remember where to find all this. Thanks, Roxanne, for jumping in with that. So awesome question. I love your questions. It makes it so much more fun when I'm on here and you guys are here and asking questions, because that gives me something to do, is to answer you exactly what you need to hear. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about in the Learning Center is going to be diluting. Now, I'm going to flip the screen around in a minute, but again, if anyone here has questions for me, specifically, I will stop what I'm talking about to answer you. And yes, when will you have a basics class? I'm actually going to work on making that available and open in the next few days. Let me make sure that I have the link correct for the wait list so that you don't miss out. I think it's basics wait list. I try to make these memorable. It's not. Okay, if you give me 1 second, I'm going to try to find that link for you. Perfect. All right, so now I have to find Facebook so I can type in the comments. So I found the link where you can get on the wait list. That's going to be the best way, because unfortunately, let me see, get in here. Unfortunately, Facebook is not showing a lot of the stuff to you, even though you are asking for it. It's like, no, we are just going to not show anybody your stuff ever, which is super annoying. Okay, so here is the link to the basics waitlist so you can get on that and be the first to be notified. And by the way, this will be a small class. Like, I'm going to take probably 25 of you. So if you are serious about this, when you see that email, you want to jump and act on that, because I am not going to have a couple hundred of you this time. I'm going to have a very small class. I want to make sure that your questions are answered. I want to make sure that I am able to do this for you in a way that is best for you so that you can get everything possible out of it. So it will be a small class. Jen is asking for suggestions for adult congestion and sore throat. Midwest allergies are horrible. Yes. Okay. So I am going to pull you over to our EO Recipes Club again. And again, if you don't have access to the free level, you need to have access to the free level. leahjacobson.com/recipes. And there is a lot available at the free level, including congestion. So we have a steam inhalation recipe and a personal inhaler recipe, which I will walk you through in a moment. And we also have a personal inhaler recipe for allergies as well. So let's go on over to congestion. Was that personal inhaler recipe number 1? I think it was recipe number 1 that's on the free level. If not, then you are getting an exclusive peek. So we have a combination of fir needle, orange, and cedar wood. Now, I think these were the same ones that's on that download that I just shared with you. So this is going to be, and I know this is safe for kids, but do not get me wrong. That does not make it not very effective for adults. This is extremely effective for adults. I know eucalyptus has this reputation as being amazing for congestion, and that's why that's a lot of what people go to initially for congestion. Oh, eucalyptus, just like with lavender for sleep. Oh, I need help with sleep. Let's grab the lavender. No, actually, you don't want to grab the lavender first thing. You want to grab cedarwood. You want to grab sandalwood. You want to grab something that is actually sedative and not simply calming. So I feel the same way about fir needle. Siberian happens to be the specific one that I prefer and love, but any fir, pine, or spruce is going to be more effective even than eucalyptus, and also happens to be safe for kids. So that is the combination that I would recommend, as well as the steam inhalation using the same essential oils. You can grab 1 or 2 or a combination of those essential oils, and you can use a steam inhalation method for this. And this is really going to be the most effective way to deal with congestion, is going to be doing the steam inhalation. So you can use a facial sauna, which actually works really well, and it's very easy and simple, or you can boil water and put it in a bowl and do it that way too. But it's, again, back to the steam. It can help open your lungs. It can help loosen up that congestion. And the little bit of essential oils that you were adding, again, 1 or 2 drops max, is going to help accelerate that being broken down. It's going to be super, super, super duper effective. And again, all recipes in the EO Recipes Club come with full safety. You have very clear direction on how to use it, as well as exactly who this is safe for, who this is not intended for, tips for using with maybe the younger ages, and then substitutions as well. And the reason why I have suggestions for kids under 10 is because kids under 10 are probably not going to want to do a steam inhalation. Sometimes they feel like it's just they can't breathe or whatever because of the steam when it's that intense, because you are going to put a towel over your head over that bowl and really, really block it in there. So that would be my suggestion for congestion. And then we have allergies as well. Again, this recipe is available at the free level. And also, when you are in here, you are not going to see all of this. When you are at the free level, you are going to see I think it's 11 different recipes. So as a member or as a VIP, you are going to have access to all of these. VIP also has access to the essential oil classes, which is that basics course you want to have access to, but it is trickled out one per week. So it does take several months to fully complete, but it's a nice addition of things to learn. But I suggest definitely, if you want the basics class, you want to get it done in, say, 4 weeks and be done. And then you have all that knowledge right away. So the Allergies personal inhaler recipe is going to be a combination of tea tree, blue tansy, and cedarwood atlas. And all personal inhaler recipes have a total of 15 drops. That is your general guideline for adding essential oils to a personal inhaler, is 15 drops. Can more drops fit? Yeah, you can get the wick to fit, and absorb a few more drops, but usually it's a little bit overflowing by then. So 15 is the rule of thumb for drops. So this is how I broken down this recipe, with the 7 drops of tea tree, the 5 drops of blue tansy, and the 3 drops of cedarwood atlas. Now, this is the best combination for allergies. I don't know who invented the whole lavender, lemon, peppermint, or whatever that is. No, it has no place for allergies. It may work a little bit for some, maybe by some slim chance, but it is not actually created based on therapeutic properties that are antihistamine. That's like total random stuff. So in this case, because blue tansy is so amazing and effective, it just so happens if you are using medication that is metabolized by CYP2D6, then you don't want to use the blue tansy. But otherwise, it is going to be amazing and very, very effective. Yes, so the VIP still gets the basics class. Yes, however, like I mentioned, we just started Module 1, and we are trickling out the lessons 1 per week. It takes about 8 to 10 months to complete the basics class as a VIP. So if you are not in any rush and you just want to get, a lesson a week and you're okay with that, it takes just a few minutes every week, then absolutely it's included as a VIP and you can absolutely do that. But if you are anxious, so this is a peek into what Module 1 is so far that we've completed. But if you are really anxious to get the whole actually it's all 5 modules. The VIPs in here get modules 1 through 4, because Module 5 is how to blend, and being a VIP in here, I give you all the recipes, so there's really no need for that. The basics course, though, does have that actual extra Module 5 that does go into blending, and you get all of that within 4 weeks. So, it's, if you are super anxious, then you definitely want to take the course. It's up to you as far as how anxious you are to get all of that information. Is there another substitute for blue tansy? Yes. I mean, we do have alternative recipes here. The other one, cypress, fregonia, and mandarin. But blue tansy is amazing. So if you are taking medications, I believe, let me actually check this. I believe the medications that are that CYP2D6, whatever that thing is, whatever those numbers are, I believe that's antidepressant medication. There is a link in this group. There's a bunch of different random numbers that certain essential oils do interact with certain drugs metabolized by different groups of numbers. But I believe this one is antidepressants is part of this grouping. But in this group, you can search for that and it will come up with all of the things. Blue tansy and German chamomile are very similar in the regard of they both have that same safety issue. But if that's not a concern, then you can go ahead and you can even use the tea tree and cedarwood atlas alone if that's a concern for you. Then I would go ahead and give that a shot. Okay, so let me just make sure I have all of those questions answered. If anybody has any follow-up for me, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go back over to the Learning Center and show you a little bit about the diluting section. Now, we have lots of information on here. This originally was a singular Facebook post, which should have basically been an ebook. I completely poured everything in here, and pretty much everything you need to know about diluting is right here. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, answers your questions on why you want to dilute, factors to consider when diluting, general guidelines, diluting by age group, which is a way that you can do it. Then we have dilution charts, like general ones. We have percentage ones. We have dilution charts to use for rollers. We have measurement equivalents. We have essential oils that do require extra dilution, such as ylang ylang has a 0.8% topical max. Grapefruit has a 4% topical max. Lemon has a 2% topical max. So if you're using any essential oils with topical maxes topically, you want to make sure that you properly dilute them so that you don't get irritation, you don't get phototoxic reactions, which could form blisters, etc. And then we also have signs you are overdoing topical use, as well as a word on sensitization, which can happen if you use essential oils long-term undiluted on the skin. And we have dilution chart stickers as well, which are basically going to be this chart here, which you've probably seen on social media, either on Pinterest or Instagram or wherever. This is the Master Essential Oil Dilution Guide here. So what this does, it can help you to see exactly how many drops of essential oil that you need, depending on the dilution you are looking for, and the amount of carrier oil or butter or lotion that you are using. So this is a super handy chart. I had previously offered these in magnets, which are all sold out, and in stickers, which all sold out, but I have just reordered the stickers again. So if you are interested in purchasing the sticker versions, which I have like in my books, I have the magnet over with my essential oil supplies on my fridge. It's just a really handy guide. So to explain it, these are the number of drops that you need with the white drop for a 1% dilution. This next color is for 2%. Then we have the number of drops for 3% and 5%. And of course, you can double and triple 5 to get your 10 and 15 based on the amount of carrier. So if you have a whole ounce, actually, let's step back a minute. If you have a 10 ml roller bottle, I know that's a common size for a lot of you. If you have a 10 ml roller bottle and you are desiring a 2% dilution, you just go right up to the 4. This is the 2% dilution line, and you know you need 4 drops of essential oil for your 10 ml roller bottle in order to get that 2% dilution that you need. So super handy. You can just scroll down here, click here to snag some stickers. There's also a spot in the menu over here, dilution chart stickers, where you can pre-order your stickers. I should be receiving those next week. I plan on getting those out the first week of October. So these make great gifts as well. Again, you can put them in several spots in your house. You can put them, in as gifts as well. So make sure that you get them before we sell out again. So if you have any questions about diluting, you can ask me here while I have these pages up. And I would be happy to answer your questions. So, and if you have questions about anything that's maybe not diluting, then you can ask me here as well, since I am here live to answer your questions. So if there's anything on your mind, there's some links in the comments. Thanks again, Roxanne, for accessing the Learning Center, where all of this information here is free, just for you to come and access as you need to look up information. Again, had to put it all behind a membership area, which is absolutely free, because Facebook bots were flagging my posts. Some of you may remember I used to share all the time benefits of essential oils, therapeutic properties, how to best use them, and all of that. And I had to take all of those down. And anything that you see from me new now has been very carefully worded to avoid Facebook flagging. I've had FDA compliant wording in the things that I'm sharing now. But unfortunately, that's really throttled back the amount of things like how to use essential oils that I can share. I know it's been said in the past that I tend to share a lot of how not to use them, but unfortunately, that's what Facebook lets me post. They do not like when I post, here's how you can use them. But all of that information is in the Learning Center, which you can access through our library as well. So if anyone has any questions for me, anything to do with essential oils, I am here and happy to help. We just went over diluting, and if that didn't make sense, please feel free to tell me I need help. Can you explain that again? I don't understand. Or if you have a similar question about diluting or something altogether different, like we had a few questions about congestion. We had actually a couple of questions about allergies and anxiety and all of that. And just so you are aware, I'm actually going to share this with you as well, because I don't think, like I said, Facebook does not show things to everyone in this group. So even if you are a part of this group and subscribe to this group, you may not see everything. So I'm going to share this with you again. So this is our library, the learning center I was just in, again, free access. There is a free level of recipes. There's a free level. I have 40 or more blends that you can look up for free. I have a ton of the single safety files as well. And then we have these guides, and this is what I wanted to point you to because anxiety comes up a lot. So this guide literally lists for you, not just the recipes, which you find in the ER Recipes Club, but this guide lists you all of the essential oils that are going to be effective. So I was asked, like, what can we use instead of blue tansy for allergies? So those are the kinds of answers that you will have here in the anxiety guide. I'm actually going to pull up the first sheet for you right now so that you can get an idea of what this is looking like. But I have all these icons so that you can best understand the information that you will be exposed to. But this is what it is. So it's pages of essential oils that are only at least like a 4 out of 5 star rating for efficacy for this exact issue. Anxiety was our second release. We just released the nerve pain one, and I'm working on the cold and flu one, which focuses only on the essential oils that are antiviral. So I've been trying to do about one per month for you, but this is a huge guide with, again, only the essential oils that are going to be super effective for anxiety. And then I've actually even starred a few of them that are going to be the best of the best. So if you happen to have any of the ones that have stars, pick those first. I also explained to you exactly how to use them, how many drops to use in whichever method that you choose, whether it's a personal inhaler, diffuser, or aroma pendant. And inhalation is the best way to use essential oils for anxiety. So I just wanted to point that out to you because we've had several questions. So those would be different guides that you could access for all of the essential oils. No fillers, no fluffs. No, this might work. No, these are going to be super duper effective essential oils. Oh, super. Some more questions. Can we figure out pre-made roller dilutions, or is it better to just make my own? We can absolutely. I can help you with that. I do help everyone in the VIP level of the EO Recipes Club. If they can just use my recipes directly and just take the questions out, perfect. If they need substitutions, if they have different ideas, I work with you as well in that way to come up with a blend that you have the essential oils already for. That can be safe and effective. As far as pre-made roller blends, if you mean purchasing from a company that's already done that, it's tricky because they feel that their blends are proprietary and they do not like to share dilutions. They do not like to share the specifics of their recipes. So I do not recommend purchasing pre-made rollers or pre-made blends. I recommend making your own blend that you know is safe for you and your family, meaning if you're on medications, there are some essential oils you are avoiding. If you're using with children, there are some essential oils you are avoiding, because most companies out there have at least one essential oil in their blend that's not going to be safe for somebody. I formulate these recipes to be safe for all. And if there is, like I showed you the allergies one, if there is a blend that has one that might not be safe for a group of you on medication, I have an alternative that is safe for everyone, even if you are on medication. So there's always going to be an alternative that is also just as effective and safe than anything out there. So yes, I highly recommend make your own blends whenever you possibly can, so that you know exactly what's in there, that you are not putting yourself at risk for phototoxicity, for sensitization, for harming your child, if you are pregnant, or your children, if they're 2 and you're using peppermint, which isn't safe for under age 6. So be careful, because every single week as I add more and more essential oil blends to the EO blend safety files, I'm like, I know there are people out there using this right now in their kid and it's not safe. I know there are people out there slathering this on their skin. They're not diluting and they're going to have a burn. So it just, yeah, I highly recommend making your own blends whenever possible. Sharon says, I just purchased Burt's Bees body lotion with aloe and shea. It's fragrance free, and I wondered if I can use in a pain recipe. Yes, you can. So I love using lotion as a carrier. You do not have to use an oil. You can use lotion. In fact, we go over this in the basics class, but lotion is more absorbable than an oil. It's more quickly absorbed. So if you have an issue like a sore muscle issue, or an issue of something that's just under the skin, using a lotion is going to get those essential oils more quickly absorbed than using a carrier oil. And they both have their place, but yes, in that situation, absolutely. So several of my recipes, I do recommend lotion. I personally love the Tropical Traditions lotion, the unscented, as well as their arnica lotion. But if you can find like a Burt's Bees lotion or another brand that's also clean and you are comfortable with all of the ingredients, you can use that instead. Totally, absolutely fine. Chelsea, are there specific brands you use? I am not specific to any specific company, no. There are several brands that I will purchase from, and there are several brands which I refuse to purchase from. For me, and this is what I recommend, it is more important that you understand the safety of the essential oil you are purchasing, because safety is safety no matter the brand. So, a brand X wintergreen is not going to be any safer than brand Z wintergreen. They are both anticoagulant. They both can have issues. It's not going to matter, how safe or how high quality that essential oil company is. Wintergreen has many, many safety issues. Oregano has many safety issues. Clove can have a lot of safety issues. So it's about the safety of the essential oil. But in our learning center, I do have a tab on brands so that you can learn more about kind of inside my brain how it works when I look at different companies and decide who I purchase from. There's even a download that you can download called How to Choose an Essential Oil Company, and it gives you a list of green flags and red flags and things that you can check off to determine for yourself, does this company meet these guidelines or criteria? Does this company give me this information so that I know that they understand how important it is for safety? So there's information over here again in our learning center that you can access for free under brands. And speaking of blends, I do have a few blends that I talk about here too, because they are the most important ones. The anti-germ one, also known as Thieves or On Guard, etc., and then anti-congest, also known as Breathe, etc., to make you aware of what the concerns can be for some people when those blends are used. As well as, don't forget, we also have the blends safety files. So I do have a lot of the common blends available at the free level here. And for you, if you are not enrolled yet, you will see a button here and it says not a member that you can click on to access the free level. So that's what I would recommend, especially if you have a bunch of blends and you aren't sure of the safety, you can look it up right there. So great question. All right, so let's see what other questions we have. I bought the personal inhalers you recommended from that company, River Tree Life. But I don't know how much essential oil to put in the bottle with a jojoba oil. So let me grab one of these so I can show you exactly what to do. So this is one of the inhalers. Let me just make this smaller so I can see myself better, so I can make sure you are seeing me better, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is going to be your personal inhaler that you would have purchased from River Tree Life at whatever color you have. So you want to take the lid off, and then you want to take the bottom off, and then you have the glass vial, you have the lid that you're unscrewing with the holes that causes you to inhale the essential oil, and then you have the wick, which is pretty stuck in here, which is fine. So then you have the wick. So this wick is what you want to add your essential oils to. So we aren't just filling up the glass with a liquid, otherwise it would pour right out the top of these holes, and that would be using essential oils without dilution. So we want to add them to the wicks that come with the inhalers, and you want to add 15 total drops, then screw the lid on, and then put it back together, and this is what you will inhale from. So these are wider than the plastic ones that you may have seen, like this, that you can actually insert into your nose. These are a bit wider. I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there that can fit these into their nostril. I just put mine up to my nostril and it works just fine. And like I mentioned earlier to the woman who had a 4-month-old, you can waft it under their nose. So if they're little, you can waft it under their nose and they're going to breathe it in and inhale it just fine. You can put it right next to your nostril and you can deep inhalation. And you can do that 1 to 3 times depending on what you are using it for, how effective it's working for you. For some people, 1 deep inhalation does it. For others, they need 3, some need 2, but that should work for you. So that's how you would assemble and put together the personal inhaler. Definitely use the wick. Yeah, and you don't need dilution. You don't need to dilute it either. That's the awesomeness about these personal inhalers, is basically the air is going to be our dilution. We're just going to inhale it through there. The jojoba oil is going to be amazing for your roller bottles when you are applying it to your skin. Thank you, totally messed up and put the jojoba oil in it and then the essential oil and was wondering why it didn't work as well. Yeah, it's okay. You know what? This is what I'm here for, to answer your questions and to help you understand how to use those essential oils safely. And I'm surprised, did it like fall out the top at all with the holes in there? I would be surprised. But yes, when you are diluting it and putting it on your skin, it's not going to have as high a dilution because you need to dilute it to apply it to your skin. And it's very effective when diluted applied to your skin. But inhaling a diluted mixture is, not going to work as effectively as putting those pure straight drops in your personal inhaler and inhaling them. It's going to be a lot more effective. So I'm glad I could help with that, Jean. And Sharon, as for the brand, just like essential oils, you have to check the ingredients. You can never assume. I've learned you can never assume, oh, it's that brand, it's safe. Oh, it's that brand, it's safe. Burt's Bees has been bought out by Clorox, so they're a little bit less natural friendly of a brand than they used to be because of that reason. I love Burt's Bees, and there are still products that I like and will purchase from them. But you just have to make sure the ingredients are still what they used to be back in the day and that they haven't swapped and use fragrances or things that you don't want, which is why a lot of us bought Burt's Bees back in the day. And it's a little bit different now for some of the products. So you definitely want to check. So awesome questions, guys. Well, if you like this, I do best personally, and this is just a little peek into how I work and how I'm wired. I do best when I do things regularly. So if you guys enjoy me just doing an open Q&A or talking about something specific in the Learning Center, I can put it on my schedule for Thursdays. But if nobody cares and everyone's cool with just going on and logging in and, reading the information on their own, I don't have to do this. But it's something that I am open to doing if you guys want to. Mondays is my blends day. Tuesdays is my recipe day. Wednesdays I go live in the Recipes Club too. So I have a certain day for different things. So if you have any more questions, those of you who have been with me here live, if you have any questions for me, jump in. Do not be shy. There are no wrong questions. This is how we learn, is by questions. And a question you have, guess what? Somebody else on here might also have this question, and you are helping everyone out by answering or by asking that question so I can answer it and help you out. You are welcome, Sheena, and you are welcome, Sharon. You are welcome. Any more questions that anybody has? Otherwise, I'm not going to sit here and la 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 and waste your time. So I'm going to give you guys a minute because I know Facebook does have a slight delay, and then I will let you guys get on with your evenings. But just know you can post in this group anytime, and Roxanne, faithful Roxanne, will get your question tagged in the appropriate spot. But I'm telling you, a lot of our stuff is found in the resource library at leahjacobson.com/library, especially in our learning center. We have so much over there. And yes, I could add more and more and more. So take a peek over there and get some learning done. And just one last thing I want to share with you. If you haven't already, you can download this lemon cheat sheet for free. So I'm going to send you a parting gift. If you go to EO Sheets, if you go to leahjacobson.com/EO Sheets, you can actually access the cheat sheet for lemon right here. This gives you all the information you need to know about the lemon essential oil safety, as well as usage, what it is best for, how to use it, any drug interactions, etc. And you can get that absolutely free by scrolling all the way down to the bottom right here, and you can download the lemon cheat sheet absolutely free. So enjoy that. And I guess I don't see any more questions. You are very welcome, Jean, as well. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.